My name is Darlene Hoard, and today I will be interviewing Mr. and Mrs. Hoard, who are my parents. So today we will be discussing about not really gender, but mostly their racial roles and their statuses as well. If they've ever witnessed any racism, or have they seen prejudism or witnessed prejudism, and they'll be discussing about their parents as well. And next we have Kayla Hoard, who is my younger sister.
So, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good, thanks.
That's awesome.
Good, thank you. And you?
Very well.
How old are you?
47.
44.
Muy joven, muy joven.
I'm 17 years old.
Awesome.
What do you do as a living? Do you go to school or do you work?
Right now I'm a chaplain for Cardone Industries, and I'm not going to school right now.
Trabajo y soy controladora de documentos en el departamento de ingeniería en la compañía de Cardone Industries.
I go to school and I also work at Ceci's Thai restaurant.
Tell me about your family and how many siblings you have in your household when you
There
were
were 8
younger.
of us. 5 boys and 3 girls.
Somos 3 hermanos, 2 hombres y yo solamente de mujer.
Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Litchfield, Minnesota, and I was the youngest of 8. So I was, how should I say, I was the baby.
México, y pues yo me crié en un pueblo que se llamaba Galeana, en un lugar chiquito, pero nací en Monterrey, Nuevo León, y nos criamos mis hermanos y yo ahí en Galeana, con mis primos, toda la familia, todos mexicanos, muy bonita.
I have 2 siblings and a mom and dad. And a dog.
How did you get to the United States? And how did you accommodate to the American culture? If you already were born in the U.S., what kind of customs did you have in your family?
Well, obviously I was born in the United States, and accommodating to the American culture, that's the only culture that I knew. And coming from a very white prominent area, there were very few other minority races where I came from. Mostly the minorities that were around us were Native Indians.
Mm-hmm.
There were very few African Americans. I knew one Mexican family in this area, and there were several Native Americans, but for the most part they were all, how would you say, Northern European in nature, of the people that where I grew up.
Yo llegué a los Estados Unidos porque mi esposo es ciudadano americano, pero lo conocí en México, en mi pueblo Galeana. Él estaba como misionero en una casa hogar y él estaba cocinando para los niños y estuvo ahí por 2 años y fue cuando él y yo nos hicimos novios y nos casamos y yo llegué aquí a los Estados Unidos. Entonces, ¿cómo me acomodé aquí? Pues fue difícil, pero batallé un poco con la lengua, con el lenguaje, con el idioma, con la cultura de las personas, pero...
I originated from the United States and was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we lived there for 7 years, and then we moved down here when I was in 3rd grade, and now we've been living here for 10 years. Well, since my mom was Mexican, we'd always speak Spanish at the house. However, I never spoke Spanish when I was little. She'd always speak Spanish to us, but I'd always speak English back. And I guess the culture was mixed because we would have Mexican food, but also sometimes we'd eat American food.
When coming to the U.S., did you ever feel like you didn't fit in, or did you ever feel different from others because of where you came from?
Again, being born in northern Minnesota, it felt very, very normal, the way that I was brought up, because there were so few other races where I was brought up. The difference in races, we used to make fun of if you were either Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish, Polish, or German, and we would have our little jokes but for the most part, they're all Northern European cultures.
Caucasian.
Al principio sí, porque cuando yo llegué aquí en los Estados Unidos, la familia de mi esposo no sabía nada de español. Yo no sabía mucho inglés, mi inglés era muy limitado, solamente hola, lo más básico. Y sí era muy difícil para mí acomodarme, acostumbrarme, adaptarme a la gente, porque ellos no hablaban español, yo no hablaba inglés. Cuando me fui a Filadelfia, la cultura de la gente de Puerto Rico y de Cuba, pues también no era igual que mi cultura. Entonces sí fue un tiempo muy difícil para adaptarme a este país y a la cultura de otras
Well,
personas.
since I look white, when I moved down here to Brownsville, they would make fun of my accents, because since we were from up north, we had like the accents the other people had, so they would always make fun of my accent, or they would just say I'm too white, and I still stand out from the crowd now. But
Did you
it doesn't
work in
bother
the
me.
United States when you first moved here? Or if you were originally from the United States, were you ever paid very well, or was it low income because of your race? Or do you feel
If I say in Minnesota, the first place that I worked,
Yeah, that's fine.
I just worked in normal jobs, going through school, working my way through school. And they were normal pay, minimum wage, those types of things. So it wasn't anything special. Had nothing to do with our race. Opportunities, I think, came up. I did notice when I moved to Texas, one of the first jobs that I got, I was able to become a supervisor. Possibly because I'd had a college education. I don't know if it had anything to do with my color or my race, but I think it was more to do with my
Yo
education.
empecé a trabajar, mi primer trabajo aquí en los Estados Unidos fue en Cardone Industries, en la compañía que trabajo ahora. Y mi pago era bien, me pagaban $12 la hora. Nunca sentí como racismo ahí. Fue una experiencia.
My first job was at Sassy's Thai restaurant, and they paid me well. They still pay me well, and they're not racist or anything.
How was it like living in the United States? Did you feel your life was better, or by any means, were you ever mistreated for
I go
your
back
race?
to some of the prejudice that I saw in my father. And as I got to know my father better, I learned some of his experiences that he had when he was in the Korean War. He had some difficult situations with some African Americans. And after that, it seemed like he was more prejudiced towards African Americans in general. And I think it's because of the experience that he had in the Korean War. Personally, I'm not a racist, but I've had experiences where I have been prejudiced. I would say I had an experience in Philadelphia where a group of Haitian boys from Haiti would be playing basketball till 3 in the morning right outside our apartment. And at that time we didn't have any air conditioning, so we could hear their basketball game all night long. And they would play till 3 in the morning, and I would have to get up at 5 in the morning to go to work. And so there was a time where I was very prejudiced. If I saw a young black man on the street, I would assume he's up to no good, especially at 3 in the morning. That was my prejudice. Is that wrong? I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily right, but I had a reason for why I thought that way. Again, I did not hate all black men in general. By no means. Some of my best friends are African Americans, and but I had that stereotype of those young boys on a street corner at that time of the hour. That is my experience of a prejudism that I had
Yo
personally.
trabajé cuando estaba en México, yo estaba trabajando y estudiando a la vez. Estaba trabajando de secretaria en México y estudiaba por la noche. Y cuando me vine aquí a los Estados Unidos, pues empecé a trabajar en el trabajo que ya mencioné, de la Carton Industries. Y pues sí estaba poquito difícil mi trabajo, pero lo pude hacer.
Yeah. And do you think living in the United States is better? Do you have a better life now, or have you still witnessed any racism?
Pues ya me acostumbré aquí a la vida de los Estados Unidos y es mejor que la vida en México, pero sí he vivido varias cosas de racismo con la gente en Filadelfia. Hubo una ocasión donde una mujer americana me dijo que no podía salir a la calle porque a ellos no les gustaban los hispanos y si yo no salía con mi esposo, entonces mejor que no saliera y que mantuviera limpia la calle porque toda la gente hispana que ella conociera eran muy sucios, entonces que yo tenía que mantener limpio ese lugar. Ahí fue donde yo sentí el racismo, pero yo no siento que soy racista ni lo he sido nunca con nadie.
In a sense, it is better living in the United States because we have more privileges than we would have in other countries. And we have a good education system here and we get it free and we don't really have to pay much for anything. So I think it's good that we